Okay, now I've got the second shelf installed with some of the components on it. Um, so again, one of the things I want to point out is how the shelf goes all the way out to the edge now. Before I had, uh, the tubes come uh, out here to support underneath the lip of the bottom piece of the torso. Um, and now I got a shelf that comes all the way out to the edge, which I think gives a lot better support there than I had before. And of course I have more shelf space. So this was the original shelf that went in there, and you can see how much smaller it is than my new one. And again, that was so that the ring could clear the center structure shelves and lift off. But since now the torso lifts off here, I don't need such a small ring anymore. And so I went with the big ring and have it come all the way out the edge. So that gives me a lot better support. Obviously I got more surface area to mount to, and one of the benefits I ended up having with that is I used to have the fuse boxes mounted right here and right here, and then the robotic arm shelf was about right there. And with that set up, there was no way I could change the fuses without loosening the shelf for the robotic arms and lifting them up out of the way so I could get my hands under there to change the fuses. And then I realized there's a small gap area between the shelf, the new shelf, and the arm sockets. And the arm sockets sit about right here. And when you take the torso off, the top torso off, I got a nice empty open space right here. So I moved the fuse boxes out towards the arm, underneath the arms, arm sockets. And the robotic shelf actually has to, it's not a full round shelf, it actually cuts off because it needs to clear the arm socket, so it cuts off there. So when I lift the top of the torso off, I have full access, easy access to the fuses. So that was a great move. I love mounting them out here. Now I can actually get to them. It also allows me to get, screw things on and off easier. And because I can access all this, I really don't need the quick disconnects that I've got hooked up on this. And so I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna eliminate these and tie directly into the fuse box and not have the quick disconnects. So that was a nice setup, and obviously everything's much more solid this way as well. The bolts here, the bolt heads that come up right here are, I used to have I had the tube go in here and a single bolt head that would come up, and I drilled holes on the underside of the top part of the torso for those bolt heads to line up with. Well, now I got two on each, or two on most of them, two on three of the four bolt heads coming up, and I drill holes lining up with those, and now the torso fits on there much more solid and lines up better than it did before. So I like, overall that came out really, really nice. These components, if you're wondering about them, again, there's the fuse boxes. This is a USB hub. I don't know if I've mentioned in my videos before that I actually got an onboard computer, which is back here on this slide. So this is my onboard computer back here. You can see it probably from both angles, I guess. I don't know which one shows that the best there, or back this way. Slides in and out. And so it runs the software that runs the microcontrollers, the easy robot microprocessors that I'm using to control the whole robot, particularly the arms and stuff. And so there's the computer for that. Now, the reason I got an onboard, for those microprocessors, you don't really need the computer to be on the robot because the software talks with those microprocessors wirelessly, so you can actually have your computer off to the side and not on board. But I have it on board because I'm doing other things as well. I'm using that computer to run other things as well. For example, I'm going to be installing a Amazon speaker device, smart speaker, to interface with the internet to get information back and forth and have it where you can actually ask the robot any question, get an answer back. But I need to change the voice on that output. And so that output is actually going to be fed into the computer, and I'm running some voice changing software as well as the software that's running the microprocessors. So that's kind of why I got the computer on board, so it can actually change the voice output.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, shut up. Speaking of Amazon smart speaker. So anyway, that's why I got the onboard computer. It doesn't have a lot of USB ports on it, so that's why I've got the USB hub. And then this is a hotspot device so that the Amazon smart speaker will have a internet connection. The computer doesn't necessarily need an internet connection except when it does updates, but it'll have a internet access as well. So that's what that is. So anyway, that's the design I got. I think it came out really well. Again, the torso fits on top there just like I did before. I'll go ahead and get that real quick and show you how that fits in case you missed that video, because that didn't change any. That's the same as it was before. Basically grab the torso and sit it right on top there, line it up with the bolt heads, and boom. Oops, line it up with the bolt heads. You gotta do that before you do anything. And there it is. Fits right on there nice and neat. Allows easy access. So I also thought of, for those who use the fiberglass, still do the fiberglass torsos, there's no reason why you couldn't possibly cut underneath the lip that hangs over here. I should have showed you that while I had the top on, but the little lip that comes over the edge of the bottom piece here. Cut the torso off right there to have a bottom piece like I got, and then build you some shelves just like this. You won't have this lip to mount to, but you could put brackets underneath the shelf and mount it to the torso, bottom part of the torso, and then you could have your torso come off and on like we do the plastic ones, kind of the same effect. Anyway, so that's the top shelf, and then in the next video I'll show you it without the coating on and everything kind of more in place, probably with the center structure as well. So that's it for now. Alright, so here's the finished product of the rebuilding of the bottom of the torso. I've taken off the protective paper so you can easily see how it ends up as a final product. So there's one of my speakers. There's the other one underneath the top glass, and of course the bottom glass down here connects all the torso 3D printed torso pieces. Here's my computer, slides in and out nice. Everything's hooked up. I got everything connected. I don't have the power connected up yet, but here you can see I can get to my fuse boxes really easy over there and over here. Really nice setup, I think. There's the USB hub for the computer. So just about everything's pretty much set up in here. Again, I'll just connect to power and a few other things that plug in. I've put loom tubing or loom conduit tubing on a lot of the wires, so it looks really nice and neat. And power wires that come off of the fuse boxes they go down, and it's hard to see, but they go down into the center hole down there. There it is. So I can connect up the power on the legs. And then one other thing I did was on the sound effects speakers, they got a volume switch, so I mounted it in such a place that I could actually take the vent out, reach my finger up here, and adjust the volume if I want to. So I think it came out pretty good. So let's see. There you can see a little bit of the underneath part, I guess. Of course, the programming bay up front here. Alrighty, well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the videos.